Hello, my friends. Welcome to part 9, BMW Authority Models Bargain or Bust. This episode is about the R1150 RTP pictured on the right side of the trailer. This bike came in with another R1150 RTP from out of state, along with a Canadian model that showed up. But this episode is focusing on this RTP here, and here we go.
R1150 RTP from Ohio. Just a quick verification to show what works, what does not work. Turn signal. Turn signal. Side marker works. Oh, go left again. Yeah, right. Front brake. Yeah. Okay. Rear, yeah, that works. Cancel. Front and rear strobes. Headlamp, high beam, low beam, high beam flash. Windscreen, full range of motion. Headlights off, parking light on, headlight on, parking light does function. Horn. And that's it.
When you work on these bikes for the first time, you find, oddities or repairs, like this panel repair. And hose clamps that are of the wrong type and shitty plastic fuel line quick disconnects. And this one had a decent shock absorber in it with a nitrogen charge that, you could rebuild the shock. A little bit of oil smudge is normal. These police motors are run hard, and, you'll find some corrosion here and there, a little bit of crud around the servo unit. And you wonder, how many times has this brake system really been flushed during its time in service? And, as we'll see with this, the maintenance by the dealers isn't always stellar when it comes to the Authority models, because it's quick, easy money, and they're in and out the door.
Here we have numerous scraps from a previous belt that broke. Which is why I don't like the BMW service plan bullshit. They don't really service anything. They stamp the book and ship it. This belt should have been replaced at $36,000 or at least by $48,000. My guess is these remnants are the original belt. It was never replaced until it broke, probably around 50 something. 53, 55,000 miles, or at 63,000 now, I believe. The belt looks to be pretty much brand new. We are right now in the process of diagnosing this horrendous engine rattle when cold, not so bad when it's hot. So I think we have to put the fuel tank back on and run this. Cold start. So this RTP trying to replicate the noise we were hearing earlier. Oh, the belt is loose. Come on. Further. It's the throttle bodies.
The throttle box?
some play in the butterfly on that side, on the right side.
Listen to that alternator.
That's the noise. This is the alternator?
Listen to it. Yeah, you'll hear it when you actually put it on the alternator, you'll hear the grinding.
That's loud. That's loud. Definitely an incredible amount of random grinding noise from that alternator with the stethoscope. So right now we're going to loosen these 3 bolts for the alternator, drop it down, remove the belt. Then I want to start this again so that it will run without turning the alternator. And if the noise is gone, we can be sure it's the alternator without fucking around much further. We need a new belt. Whoever the fuck put this on poked a hole right through the fucking thing. Yeah, the BMW authorized dealer network, keeping my ass busy till I drop fucking dead. Alright, our belt is removed, which has a fucking hole in it from whoever installed it. Our alternator pulley does have play forward and backwards and very slightly up and down. I don't feel any grittiness turning it, but I can't spin it at the speeds that it does when it's running. So let's clear, start this, see if the noise goes away. Obviously, we're not talking about the exhaust leak here. I only have one nut on each side of the header. I'm not hearing it. Way out of tune, I can tell you that. Alright, choke is off. Well, I have to say it needs an alternator. The noise is gone with the belt off and the alternator not turning, so I gotta go with that. That's a big job in itself. It's so nice to work on a clean one. This is in just beautiful condition.
Yeah,
You
right
get a little
into
bit of
this one.
rust on the servo mounting tray, but big deal. This one is just beautiful.
Yeah, right into
When you compare it to this disaster. So this will be good. So clutch replacement begins now.
Clutch replacement on an R1150 RT is laborious enough for a civilian model. When you add in the authority model, it's a bit worse between the crash bars and other goodies that are on there, plus the neglect, lack of maintenance, which I'll be getting into later. Lack of maintenance leads to worn out parts and things. These splines are actually in pretty good condition. This bike didn't have a failure. It's here for the modified clutch, where the splines are moved back onto the transmission splines to help alleviate the spline strippage that plagued these hydraulic clutch models. There was one of Bruno's modified discs. A little bit of Starbarogs on the splines of the transmission input shaft and on the dowel pins will make assembly much easier. You're going to put a little bit on the splines of that new clutch when you slide it on. This is inspecting the old clutch here. There's the old parts. You see all those blued spots? Those blued spots are from constant clutch slipping. If these motor officers had to perform this task themselves, they would no longer be slipping their dry clutch as they're taught to do on the motors that are equipped with a wet clutch. Dry clutch doesn't take heat very well. Clutch lever in or clutch lever out. If you gotta slip the clutch while you're performing your duties, that's fine. But in or out, it doesn't need to be any fanning of the clutch or slipping of the clutch. It's a big job to replace these things. Here we're performing valve adjustment and the rest of the 24,000 mile service, getting this machine ready to go back to its owner. Fuel filter is always an important part of that service. Here we see the filters from 2003. I'm draining the fuel out of the filter, and then I'm going to apply a little bit of compressed air to the end of it to blow the rest of the fuel out of the filter. You will see with that, the black, that is the charcoal from the charcoal canister that is fitted to the American models. When you overfill your fuel tank, your excess fuel is supposed to go into that charcoal canister where it will evaporate someday, or dissolve the charcoal into little pellets, which get sucked right in through the rest of that system, right to the throttle bodies. R1150 RTP from Mentor, Ohio. R1150 RTP from Mentor, Ohio. This is the first start after installing the modified disc and performing a 24,000 mile service. And replacing the starter and replacing the starter to be a customer supplied, and installing a used alternator because this one was defective. So that is good. We will, I need to set the clock. It's not 6:26. It is 10:52 a.m. Anyway, so tomorrow's supposed to be nice and warm in the 50s. I have errands to run, so I'm going to be doing it on this, the other R1150 RTP, and an R90/6. So I'm hoping to get 50 miles on each and consider them done. Rim has a ding in it right here. You'll see as it goes around.
Got it under control. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Tosh.
Anyway, it's running true. It's just the bead that's pushed out. So I'm going to do 3/4 of an ounce here.
Ah, the OC. Woo!
And get this put together. The rear drive, it developed a little bit of a drip.
Feels good.
Right at the drain plug, I have the pictures of that. So I'm going to drain that, put a new crush seal on it, and get that taken care of. And then we're ready to go.
Southern California. And people from Omaha come here. You're going someplace you like and you don't want to go. Pretend you're...
The battery did not survive the winter, even though I had it plugged into the tender. I am going to install a new Westco battery. It just arrived. Front tire has been replaced. And we had a leak at the rear drive crush washer. Sometimes these crush washers fail. That one did. So that's all set. So I should have it done tomorrow and get a day or so, a couple quick test rides, and it should be good to go. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, man.
If you need to pull over, just cut me off and I'll pull over.
I'll let them all.
There you go.
Well, give him my horn. And another satisfied customer.
Yes, thank you, Ray. Thanks for your patience. Ray is headed back to Ohio. Have a safe trip.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to see the material that YouTube will not allow me to post on YouTube, I post that stuff over on my Patreon channel, where you can go check that out and see what can't be seen over here. It's a new world coming. They don't allow us to do much over here like we used to. It's different, you know? You don't know. That's the trouble. People don't know how much things have changed for us YouTube creators. They're fucking squeezing us hard.